I'm sitting in my council flat in northeast of England. The North Sea's about 10 miles that way. The snow's outside, and on the wall behind us is a silver birch, butterflies, and some birds. So we're male-ish. We're large, white. We've got round glasses, short hair, and a green top, and some braces which are sort of flame fire on them. So, and well, our world, you'll see in the film.
You've asked to see a little of our world. Our world has Antarctica at the top. We really love penguins, whether they're chocolate coated or not. We've watched penguins fly. Yes, they fly underwater or sometimes across ice, but they do fly. There's always more than one way of looking at things. Why do we limit ourselves to just the one multiverse? We read a writer for children who named the Omniverse, and we went, wow. The sang, and if you can't change the world, then change yourself. And if you can't change yourself, then change the world. We try and change at least a few words. We haven't even time to show you our beach here in our council flat backyard, which is a refuge. The North Sea's about 10 miles away here in Tyne and Wear. We also haven't shown you our full library, Ikebana or Frida Kahlo Octopus. In this sanctuary, rewilding is happening as we speak, from oxalis to Welsh poppy to Herb Robert. As well as writing, exhibiting internationally, we are multi-award-winning composer, tar-sounded music, and sometimes that's with bird callers, sometimes with birds, the only social media we need. Let's ask, what do you want to be when you grow down more often? Once we performed against a mountain in the North York Moors that was lit up with light at night time. A soundscape of birds hidden in the hedge, and at the end of our performance we handed out ash tree saplings, Yggdrasil's trees of life. 2 remain in our council flat backyard, once taller than us now. In a cowslip's bell I lie, where bees suck, there suck I. Dalai Lama said, when a finger points at the moon, it's unwise to look at the finger.
I'm going to talk a little bit, and I'm then going to move the camera around and show you something while I talk a little bit more. And you will also see a short film that I've made. And Daryl's right, yeah. We've been writing a play called Trees Don't Grow on Money. We like turning things around. We like rewriting the future. There's always more than one way of talking about something. This is a play for under 12s. There's 3 feisty lasses, Unicorn, Lips, and Star, and they share a precious den. This is theirs, their place, that they've been together for 5 or so years. They're now just coming up to 16. The story is set across 3 seasons. So you have the autumn, twilight, you have midwinter, you have May Day and the Dawn Chorus. There's also an escaped lynx making its way to this ancient den, and these 3 lasses discover that belch bruise crawlers, zoom oculars, stair cams, this whole creeping world of surveillance is about to destroy their den. So, well, think about it yourselves. Your den, your favorite place, that special place that you had. What would you do to fight back, to keep it for yourself, to keep the wild going? This play is about rewilding, about nature and how nature can help us heal. So it's all about that. And these three lasses use various creative resistance. They learn from Doctor Who, paintballing those Daleks. They learn from creative campaigns around the world, and they learn from nature to fight back. There's insectivorous plants which stick their prey. Imagine sort of lassoing adults who are building these things on your den. So lots of creative resistance, lots of fun, lots of exploring rewilding and fighting back. And can they save the wild? Ultimately, we want 100 kids with megaphones. Teach them Patti Smith's People Have the Power. Imagine 100 megaphones, a rainbow of megaphones going out onto the streets. Imagine that as a chorus. So the three feisty lasses, as Stars, she's travelled the furthest to be here. So she's from a whole other place. Lips, her birth family from what we're calling the fringes. And she's been brought here, and Unicorn is right from this place. I'm just going to move the camera over. So you'll see in a minute. I'm going to keep talking, but this is Den. This is Den in miniature. As well as a writer, we are also an internationally exhibited artist and also multi-award winning composer. So the sound and the visual look will be ours too. So we have, and Den is really a fourth character, this ancient tree with a large space inside. This is where the three became friends around age 10. They've been inseparable since. They're now 15. Your den, hold that in your mind. Remember your den, that place of safety. What stories did you whisper to Den when you were a kid, when you were growing up, when you're having difficult times? What wouldn't you do to save Den if it was being threatened? Imagine all the stories that Den has seen and heard, all the treasure buried in its roots, this memory of archaeology and bones and fossils and the rest. Stories of life, of love and of change. And as we said, we're also, as well as the visual world, there's also the sound world. So autumn is dusk. Nature becoming night, it's majestic, it's unthreatening, leaves and twigs and birdsong and so on. But winter, the longest night, the Obs platform, these belch bruise crawlers, these zoom oculars, everything coming to get us. But then finally May Day, the dawn chorus, the sounds of noisy protest of pots and pans, finally returning to nature and birdsong again. And like we said, it's not just it's a play, it's a show, but participation is key. That idea of that chorus. Here's a weapon. Hand this out to 100 kids. Take them outside. Get them singing. Make some noise. Participation. We spent time with Augusta Barr. We love the idea of spect actors. It's not professional over there and participation here. It's bringing it together. And say things like, for example, Shinrin-yoku, that's Japanese for forest bathing. And Western science has finally caught up and realized that these sorts of things, whether, spending quality time with trees really does help heal, including from heart disease. We've had heart attacks, including from PTSD, post-trauma stress disorder. And again, we have things like that too. So nature for real. can help heal, or even listening to birdsong. There's a wonderful headline about how birdsong it heals better than oxycodone, and of course has less side effects. So participation, healing the sounds of nature. And the thing is that it is very much disability led, not just us. We've been really fortunate to work with Nikki Miles Wilding. She is, well, among many things, artistic associate at Grey Eye Theatre. So the show is disability led. We want to continue working with her as creative collaborator. She's been helping dramaturg, direct, and all these sorts of things. And of course, there will be 3 performers involved as well. So it is very much disability led, disability aesthetic to it. And in a minute, I'm just going to switch off my camera and microphone, because there's a short film. It's just a little flavor, a little taste of the visuals, a little flavor, a little taste of those sound worlds, this sound of peace, the encroaching surveillance, the zoom oculars, the belch bruise crawlers, and then noisy protest, and then back to it. So it just gives you a flavor of the look of the sound world. And there's just 2 or 3 lines of text that appear as well as Patti Smith's "People Have the Power" and "Use Your Voice," which she sometimes improvises, jazz, punk jazz mellow, I think, in it. So I'm going to switch off just now. You'll see the film roll. And that's just a flavour, a taste, a little bit of the mood, the sound, because this show isn't just the play. It's a sound world. It's a visual world. It is a den. These young folk can be in the den, this place of safety. Yes, there's threat coming, but it is den, it's safety. And then what do they do? What do they cook up to regain freedom? So if you could roll the film.
We have the power, we have the power, we have the power to dream, to wrestle the world from fools. We have the power, people have the power. Use your voice. Use your voice. Use your voice.